I promise you to recording this evening and tell you what happened when this man came and should help me in my disabled situation. It's disabled, the brain is disabled, and in one way I think some of the brain is that the spirit is taken over my brain. So I need to tell them to not make me be in the spirit the whole time. I need to come back to the past where I was walking. And I can walk today also, but I walk inside my home and in the garden only. And sometimes I walk out. It's about 10 meters to the trash room to bring the trash where it is. It's not in front of my door. Everyone in the area put their trash into that, like a house outside. Oh, it's only trash in that house. It's not for living there. And I told you that one morning when I mostly of the time I go out there on Sunday morning because there is no people I meet, and that I started to do when the COVID-19 came, and I still do it. And one morning when I was into this and threw away trash, a rat come jumping up in front of my face. It was not a mouse, a little one. It was a rat, growing up, a rat. And he looked at me, and I looked at him and stood still, and he jumped away. But after that, I am a little frightened to go and throw away the trash. So I don't. I'm scared that I wake up a rat and it's running up on my body, or like that. I was very close to jump into my face. So it's a little scary to go there. So I know it's very important for me to start walking as much as I can outside. And today was a perfect day to make the training in the walking, because my brain have hard to understand what's going on around my head when it's much wind going on. And today was it wind. It was a beautiful day, but it was wind blowing. And this man came to my home, and I was thinking that we could travel to the gas station and get some air in the wheels of my scooter. I feel like it's only little air in it, so I need to do it before I start to drive out in the forest and in the forest am I by myself if something should happen. So I must have a good scooter to drive there. And so he come and we started to dig out, take out all the bags and boxes there was from when I moved to this place. And those, the church, Mormon church, helped me. It was this man that baptized me. And then it was, I think it was two young men, those pioneers, those that they are sending out. And they were American people. I think it was three, because one was speaking Swedish and come from Sweden, but he was from the north, very north of Sweden. And they took my boxes to my new place. And I have written on the boxes where those boxes should go into the home. But they were scared about me, because people in the Mormon church, they are scared about me, because God is speaking to me, that heaven speaking to me. They are scared because it's not supposed to be a woman that God is talking to, and it was in Joseph Smith days. There was women that was allowed so much more than what they are allowed today, and the new one that I don't know really what I have heard with his name, but this young that come after Joseph Smith, and some of these American young people, they think that he was in this to kill Joseph Smith. He wanted to take over the church, and he did. And then he changed this, that women couldn't do so much if they were not married to a husband that was in the top of the church. And then they could do more, but they couldn't do anything by themselves. And like in Joseph Smith's time, the women could lay hand on other people. It was not clearly like that it was only women they lay hand on. And today they say the women lay hand on those that was in the labor, that was on their way to give birth only. They say today, but I have told you that I was in Salt Lake City in 2017, and I was to the museum, the old Pioneers Museum, and I was really look after what women was doing in Joseph Smith's time. And I read those small papers that was on items that was giving to the museum. And I say that they wrote that women had more power in the church than what they have today. And it's going very wrong, and And then is it more like Jesus is the same as God, and it's going bad with the Mormon church because they going like they are scared to lose members, so they go what the world want them to do. And that is so bad when the church start to look at the world and change it to be in the world and not be a church like it was before. And I see it in many, on my Facebook. I have many friends that is leaders, those friends that I have not seen, never touched them. I have never talked to them in real, and they don't talk to me on Facebook either, but I have them as friends because they want me to be like them. That it's not that they want to be like me in that way, that what I talking about. They want me only to see them, and they take away the ability to could see what I write in my post and my videos and these things. They don't see it. Facebook have done that to block. You still have them as friend, but you block them to could see their what they write, what they post. You don't see them, but they see you if they don't block you. You know this. And that's what why I have many thousands of these leaders for churches that never know what I'm doing, and they don't even know where I live. They think I am American because I write very much English. So they think that I live in the United States. It's very selfish, and it have been worse in the last generation here, that they are so selfish. So they think that they know everything. They know over old people. They know what old people know, and they know Sweden. Even if they have never been to Sweden, they know Sweden. And I have wrong that I was born and I live in Sweden. And they tell me, they write me sometimes and say I'm wrong in the Swedish things. It's so total crazy. But that is what the world is today. It's very selfish. And that comes with many things. That they don't understand that there is other countries in this world, not only those poor countries, because already when I lived in United States, the television was very seldom showing anything from Europe. It was if it was something negative that happened in Europe, they show, but they didn't show nice things. So today I think many in America, you only see this killing of people. We have got this gangster style here in Sweden. So now they can show Sweden. When I live in the United States, they showing very much from Thailand, from those Asia countries that have this porno, selling young girls to mostly men. You know, I don't say a man because it can be women that buy them also. Um, I have been in the world, so I know what's going on. And as I have told you, I watch television in the morning, and then after I watched the news in Sweden, then I go to Al Jazeera, those news that is from Palestine, and I watch it and see what's going on, and because they showing me a longer way from Sweden in the news. I know what's going on in Africa, for example. They always have some news about African documentaries they're showing, and I can watch that. And they extremely seldom talking about Sweden. So I cover the news very much from all over the world, so I know what's going on. And I'm not scared about if they're talking sexual things. Some people have tried to say sexual things into my face, but I was 48 years old when God come and took me to his. So I had been in the world as a teenager, and I was very little in the church. My father tried to put me in the church, so I have been in the church, but it was when I was a child, so there was mostly that we were playing in the church. We were in a room on our own, we children, so we didn't listen what's going on in the church. So I didn't got so much education in the church because I was a child. And so what happened today, it was that we were out in my store unit, and it was so very much, they have placed boxes everywhere and up on a shelf where I can't take it down because it's so high up, and then in the same time it's very heavy, and those boxes I can't bring down because I have not had anyone that have helped me. But now I'm paying this man to help me, that I think my church should have coming and help me. But the Mormon church I am in, they have scared people. The devil have done it. Yeah, I know there's devils in that church where I am, but I have not been there since before we got the pandemic, so I have not been there for 3 years, and I'm not allowed to go into the temple. And what I have that church for is for to have all the membership in the family tree research. That's it, because they're not coming and educate me at all, and they don't ask me to come with them to the temple, and I can't because I don't get the card for to enter into the temple. And I don't care because I have my own. As you know, I have heaven in my home. I don't need to go to the Mormon church and listen at what they not what they think it is, when I know the truth, and I can be preaching, talking about those old things that have happened for 2,000 years ago. They can talk about that, but I prefer to talk about what happened today, and that's what the heaven have told me to do, to talk about what they are saying to us for today. It's here and now, here, just where we are. There are coming new things for us to prepare of what the future will bring, and build us up, so get our strength, the spirit strength and the body's strength, be fulfilled of strength. That's what I'm here. That's what they were told me when they say that I should do a podcast, and I didn't know what it should be about, but they knew. They knew, of course, and they come here and talk it to us, to be here and now, and not be in the past. We can go into the past sometimes, but we live here and now. Then when I say to him that we don't have the time to work on the store unit, the whole thing. We need to split it in at least 2 times. So next time when he's here, he's coming and clean it up, and he was going into trash and took away much that after 3 years I don't need those things, and those 3 years since I moved here, I have changed because of the podcast, and I know they have touched you also, and have changed you in some ways. I don't know, but I understand that I see that it's the same people coming to my podcast and Heaven's podcast, and they have put me as like a favorite to listen at. So I know there is some people that a change of this podcast. So it's not waste to do this podcast. It's not only me believing in heaven and that our loved ones or those people that is connected to us, that they still are alive in the afterlife. We believe in afterlife, and we know there is an afterlife. We know it. We don't believe it. We know. That's what I tell people about God. I don't believe in God, and they be scared, those that is in religions. And then after a little while I say, why should I believe in God when I know there is a God? I don't need to believe it like a fantasy. It's not a fantasy. For me, it's real. And so after we have he have closed the door to my store unit and bring in some things for me to keep in my home, or something that I should look at if I should keep it or not. Then he go and throw away the trash, and then he come back, and we sit and talk a little. First, I say, you have to rest a little. So sit on the chair, I say to him, and then we talk a little. Because, I need to talk to a person. You that is here listen. You only listen, but you never write me anything with questions. I mean questions, not say that I'm stupid or something like that. I want a question from you. Those other that you say that devil gonna eat me up, that I don't talk about, because it's foolish, it's stupid, it's crazy, it's madness. So I don't bring it up here. And it must be a real question you have for me. And then if I can't answer it, I ask heaven to answer it. So no question is stupid question as long they are real clean questions. So this man and I walk out, and we walk around. I hold in his arm, and then I walk. And I walk okay. But it's about maybe 15-20 minutes we were walking outside and talking. And then when we come home, and he was on his way to walk away, and I hold me in my scooter and talk to him, but then I start to shaking in my body. So the brain was going tired of our walk. Not the leg, it was the brain that, because we were walking normal, almost, a little slower than normal. And then we were talking the whole time. He was talking and I was talking, as it should be. It's not the only one that should talk. So my brain be tired of every things that come inside it. It's all this landscape, all this talking between him and me. The brain was working the whole time, and it was working on take the steps we did, and then was the wind in my ears also that go into my brain. And so I was very tired, not that I needed to sleep, but I needed to sit and calm down for a while, maybe 1 hour, but I could watch television because the television doesn't do any harm to the brain. So I could sit and watch television. It was started my favorite television program, so I sit there. And so that was good because it was a measure what I could do with this man. It was not the walking only. It was that I sit at the store unit outside, and it was little cold, and he asked me if I should keep things or not. Those things I have to sit and tell him. He should not need to carry them inside the house. Instead, I sit outside in my scooter and told him what to keep and not keep. Like my Christmas tree, it is gone. I have a very high Christmas tree, and I told him that I don't do Christmas anymore. And it was wrapping paper, many wrapping paper I had stored, and I say that is for the trash because there is no Christmas gift anymore for me, I say. So most of my Christmas things can go to the trash, but there is Christmas belonging that is like historical, like the barn where Jesus was born, the stables. I bought one old that was in the window of an old store in when it was East Germany, and I bought that. So that is I don't know, 50 years old, like that. So that I keep and let my daughter get it when she can, or when I die, she get it. Because I have bought more than there is a store in Germany to buy those things for the stables that I bought in East Germany. There is many small things to buy to it, so it's a very expensive these things, but I like it. It's big. It was for the store to showing out in the window a big set of this Joseph, Mary, and Jesus, and those shepherd come. I maybe have 15 sheep to it, and camel, and those wise men is there also, and that I don't want to throw away because it's expensive things, and it's that my daughter will love it to have it. And so many Christmas things is gone away if it's not old things. So I only place, like in Sweden, I place the star in the window. I put the light in the windows, but I don't. Before I met God, I bought at least one Santa every year. So, and I wrote under them what year I have bought them, and it was in the 80s. So they are start to be old, and I store them, but I don't place them in my home anymore. I don't do Christmas anymore because I am not religious. And of course, in my family, we were not so religious when I grew up. But we celebrate Christmas anyway, because it's tradition also. It's not a religion. It's not a religion, everything. It's tradition also. And so it's easy for me to clean up because most of the things I have there, I have not used it for 3 years. So why should I keep it? So what I find today a machine that pressure my legs, so it be like circulation in my legs, and that I'm going to use now, laying in the bed and rest, and have this machine going on that pressure my legs. It's from my feet and up to the whole leg. So it's good for me. So he found that today. But I told him that there is a Connect, this extra for Xbox, for to could wave with your arms and hands to play games. But for me, I have bought the Xbox to could train, exercise, and I can do that now also a little. I can train my body if I hold me into something, and I in my home I can always grab something, some sofa or something. If I start to fall, and I don't fall on the floor, so I can use that Xbox Connect for now also, and maybe it's better than before. I don't have any games on Xbox. I have exercise programs to keep my body in fitness, but it's not so much fitness today. It's necessary to do those things, to not be full paralyzed, completely could not walk. I try to hold it in the walking and move around my arms and all of this, my body like it was before. I can do that, but it only the brain that stop it. So I can move around like before. I can run if I want, but I need to hold me in something because the brain can stop working. So it's about it cost me about, I think it is like $50 every time he's here, and I wish I could pay him twice a week to walk with me now when the summer is coming. But I will see if I can afford it, because it's other things I need to buy. But in that way am I very thankful that I listened to heaven, that they told me to store up food, so I don't need to buy so much of this expensive food that is just now, because I have canned goods, and I have very much floating bouillon, those soap to only drink and not chewing. I have stored up that for to do it really, not do it once and then I chewing food, but do drinking food for a long time. And I did that for 40 days once, and I lost 10 kilo. That is about 20 lbs pounds, I think it is. So that was good, and I didn't gain weight for a long time after that. My body was not used to chewing food, so it was still going hold the weight I had going down to in 40 days. So it's maybe took 1 year for me to gain weight again, to come up to the same weight I had before I started drinking food. So that is good for you to do if you want to lower the weight. But you should have, if you don't drink good with vitamins and minerals in what you are drinking, then you need to take that extra. You can't only fattish. You can't drink food that is poor, that is not much vitamins and minerals in it. You need to have that every day. But drink whatever you want to drink, but not alcoholic, of course, and not too much soda. But if you drink and take sopa without anything that you need to chewing, and take vitamin and minerals extra there, then are you okay? So it's not wrong to fasting as long as you take your vitamin and minerals with it. And that is very little to eat of if you take pills that is for vitamins. I have those that most of my vitamin and minerals is that I bring into the water and it melting, and then I drink it because I can't digest food. So that's what I need to do. And then a dose that is like pills, I crush them, and I don't buy so much vitamin and minerals that is to chew. Mostly is it liquors that is, so I don't show it, and it's going down. So you can't do fasting without to have your minerals and vitamins inside you, or else you get this cramp in your body. If you don't have those vitamins and minerals, you get cramps in your body, and you can be mental sick, not heavy, but you can be in depression and be down because you don't feed your body with vitamin and minerals. So that is very important. And there is, in most countries, there is vitamin and minerals that you can drink. So you don't need to chew it, but your body needs to have them, or else you get this side effect of the fasting. I know there in the past there in that time when it wasn't much about fasting, um, there was those leaders for fasting. They start to run long running, and they fall down dead because the heart couldn't take that only drinking water and then running. They needed to take the mineral and vitamins, and they didn't. So be very careful so you don't go into this. That, like I have talking about my daughter and eating vegan food, because she's missing vitamins in it and minerals, and it's not complete to be vegans. And so you have to educate you before you start these kind of things. So you hear my voice is going down now. I'll be dry in my throat, and I hope it's not for a long time, because this spirit that make my throat be dry, like you hear now, is someone that want to say something. I'm drinking water, but it doesn't help. There's something going into my mouth to talk to you that is not before this spirit. Is a spirit of a person that I live here on earth, and now is it this? If it is man or a woman, and you know what I find out? That if they are showing me a man and a woman in the same time, so I don't see clearly if it is a spirit of a woman or if it's a spirit of a man. If I don't see it, they told me it's because they have lived more than one time here on earth. So that's why they have both genders. And they have this illness about something with the lungs to do. Like I have this hard to talk now. It's I will see if I find it out how far it's going into me. I think it's a lung thing. They die of this with their lungs, and they say to me the bubbling you have in your talking, that show you that we died of a drown. We were going into water, and the bubbling is the water inside us that you can feel also, they say to me. And I know that I say these things, and then is it right? Because they tell me this, but I say it that it's many that is coming here of the spirits that have going with Titanic, the boat Titanic, in year 1912. It's going under they drove to an iceberg, and then the boat go under. And why there are many here from Titanic is because they are related to me. I have told you that those people that is related to me is all the royals in Europe, and nobles, and some people that they have got nobles, and because of the work they have done for the royals, so they were wealthy people, and then they wanted to travel to United States, to America, to get a new life, and they could pay this. They go from Southampton. They go from Sweden, if they live in Sweden or Denmark. They go with a. I was educated to know that they have some center where they put together them in a group of people, and then they travel together into the new land. And so there is some places here in Sweden where they met each other, and then they go together, and they have to go from, mostly they go from Gothenburg or south of Sweden to England, because Titanic didn't go into Sweden. Titanic was going from Southampton, and they go there, and some never go there to America because they find the loved ones in England when they were waiting for the big ship to come, and they were the lucky ones. They did it because so many go down with that ship, died, and never come to any place more than to the ocean. And in the 70s, I was working between my schools. I was working as going home to people as a nurse. I was in a school for nurses, so I could do small things that other people couldn't do. But one woman I come to one day was talking about Titanic, because she told me that her brother was going with that ship, and they were very wealthy. And I saw yesterday when I find out that she was connected to me, but they were very rich because they do locks for the doors and keys for the doors all over the world. And she have a big, beautiful home. And I remember what she was saying to me. She said, I wish I could walk as before. She said, my brain is 100% okay, but I can't walk anymore, she said. And she sounded very tired, and she was tired because she was over 90 years old. So those people that going with the Titanic, there were this, most of them was in young age. And so she was in her 90 in the 70s. So she was about 30 years old when Titanic go under. And she told me that they didn't buy any newspaper of this, because of this catastrophic the boat, and instead they placed up their names on a long paper outside the newspaper's office, so everyone could read those people that have died. And I go down there to the newspaper office, she's saying, I know she is here now. She touched me here, this woman, and she says to me that I go down every day to see if my brother's name was on that list or if he was okay. And I was down there many days, and one day I saw his name on the list. It's very sad about it, and she made me almost cry, because she's sad now when she's talking, even if she meet her brother in heaven. But what she felt on earth, she feel that now. It's not that heaven have comfort her and dry away her tears. It's when they come closer to earth and talk to me, they also can feel everything there was when they live here on earth. So that you need to understand, it's the suffering, the needs, the tears and all this, and fears and these things. It's going away when they go to heaven, but it is in heaven they feel okay, or comfort. But as a spirit, when they are coming down to talk to us, they can feel everything, because there is a spirit memory here on earth. It's not everyone, but there is spirits that have. Now I'm laughing because I remember this Mary Stewart. She was going down here because she was looking for her head, and I didn't know if she was. They cut off her head when they kill her. I didn't know. But after I checked it up, and it was true what she was saying, that she was here to find her head. She was missing her head, but it was not missing the head up in heaven. The missing head was when she come closer to earth, and maybe I have not read about it, but maybe the body was cut off. The head was cut off of the body, so the head is on one place and her body is on another place, and that's why she looking for it. She wanted to put it together. She know that she is dead, but she put it together to be in the grave. That's it should be decent and it should be correct for her. That's why, and that's why it happened, these things, that this woman I took care of in the 70s, she is here and talk about this, about Titanic, the boat there. So it was a little long, but it's okay. You can be here as long as you want, because I tell my listener that they can listen in parts. They don't need to listen a whole hour. They can rest a little between in the chapter. The chapter is there for them. They don't need to take the whole chapter in once. So thank you for visiting here. I remember you very, very much, and I know that you have been here for a little while in my home, because I have thinking about you. I thinking about you yesterday when your name was in my family tree, and it was in historical article. I remember you, and now you wanted to talk to us about what was going on when we met, you and me, when I was working for you to take care of you. You sit at the table in the kitchen, but I needed to hold you when you go to bed, and you were sad that you couldn't be up like before, sitting up in the kitchen. You have a nice kitchen, but you couldn't be there, and I polish all these beautiful things you had in your big home, but you couldn't enjoy it because you could only sit in the kitchen and eat and then go to bed. And it's some part of this that is in my body, that the Spirit's doing this on me also. That's why I have this problem with the brain, that it not is connected sometimes with my legs and arms, and what so far is it not when I'm talking, isn't it? And I hope it's hold it that way, so I can talk in my podcast and educate you what they are saying to me in heaven. And soon I'm going to recording in my garden to you. Soon is it spring is almost here. It's going to be in this weekend we start to get spring. So then I be outside in my garden, in Jesus' garden, and I'm going to recording from my garden also. So thank you for listening, and God bless you.